History is the first casualty of media's microsecond attention span. An army of pseudo-savants saturate the airways to explain that tariffs are bad, trade wars hurt growth, and mercantilism, the art of accumulating reserves, is a throwback to the 17th century. These sentiments come from mainstream liberals and conservatives and tag-along journalists trained in the orthodoxy of so-called free trade and the false if comforting belief that trade deficits are the flip side of capital surpluses. So what's the problem? The problem is that perpetual trade deficits have put the United States on a path to a crisis of confidence in the dollar. Capital surplus is a euphemism for excessive debt issuance by corporations and the Treasury. Zero tariffs are an invitation to outsource manufacturing and destroy high-paying U.S. jobs. Mercantilism makes China the fastest-growing major economy, while free trade leaves the United States to languish with depression-level growth. The cherished verities of liberal economics are mostly junk science, a thinly veiled stalking horse for the real goal of global governance and taxation in the name of globalization. A visit to the history section of a library reveals liberal hero Alexander Hamilton was a staunch protectionist who nurtured U.S. industry with bounties, tariffs, and other obstacles to free trade. Progressive icon Teddy Roosevelt supported the gold standard and a strong dollar. Our first globalist president, Woodrow Wilson, wanted globalism not based on integrated supply chains, but on U.S. hegemony over authoritarian Germany and Russia and imperialist France, Japan, and the U.K. Wilson's way of achieving this was not with arms, but with gold, dollars, and Wall Street credit. Conservative champion Ronald Reagan imposed such high tariffs on Japanese cars that they moved their factories to Tennessee and South Carolina, where the factories remain today. In fact, America's greatest periods of prosperity were associated with tariffs and mercantilism until the 1990s, when debt and war became the all-purpose substitutes for investment in U.S. factories. Now the debt boom is dying, a day of reckoning approaches, and false economic nostrums won't save us. This conundrum between what works in practice, protection and mercantilism, and modern miseducation, free trade and globalism, must be solved to secure the future strength and stability of the United States. There is ample room for smoothing the rough edges off mercantilism, but only if clear-eyed and historically trained negotiators are assigned to the task. Soft power globalists are happy to see the United States in relative decline as long as the world is better off. The problem is that most of the world is violent, authoritarian, unethical, and inimical to U.S. values. Enriching China at U.S. expense is not just a weak globalist trade-off. It finances concentration camps and industrial slavery. Globalist champions such as Jeffrey Sachs and Mike Bloomberg are in deep denial on this, yet it's true. Resolving this conundrum requires talents that range far beyond economics. The quandary can be addressed only by combining experts in geopolitics, history, sociology, law, and complex dynamics. This kind of high-level expert integration with a view to national security is an unsung strength of the Central Intelligence Agency. In this fashion, we turn to the CIA for an inside look at how the United States is using centuries-old tools to meet the 21st century threat from globalization. A house in Langley Woods. CIA headquarters is a secure compound with admittance tightly restricted, yet the location is not secret. The main entrance is on Virginia Route 123, also called Dolly Madison Boulevard, about a mile off the George Washington Parkway, not far from the Potomac River's south bank. As if to confound the casual inquirer, most guideposts around headquarters seem to have three names. Dolly Madison Boulevard is shown on some maps as Chain Bridge Road. Reporters frequently refer to CIA headquarters as Langley, yet there's no such town in that part of Virginia. Headquarters is located in the town of McLean. The initials CIA do not appear in the official headquarters name, the George Bush Center for Intelligence. These double and triple meanings seem in keeping with the CIA's main mission of deception. Any driver can turn off Dolly Madison Boulevard onto the CIA headquarters access road, yet you won't make it far without an official badge in hand or a visitor's badge waiting for you at the security building near the main gate. If a visitor, you'll be heavily screened before you even get to the gatehouse to pick up your badge. Once inside, the CIA campus has an open, airy feel, not unlike a lot of large corporate campuses located in suburban bands around major cities. The architecture is decidedly mid-20th century, not at all like the 21st century dome and starship designs adopted by Amazon in Seattle and Apple in Silicon Valley.